Hello, and welcome to Sequel Decay. Again,
God damn it.
where we struggle to get through our existential crises one Toy Story movie at a time. I'm Chris Ranta,
Why are
and
these movies so dark?
I know, I'm Chris Ranta, and with me is...
Stefan Salehio.
Can you say with a little more fucking enthusiasm?
No.
This week, we are talking about Toy Story.
The cutest introduction to the concept of oblivion you will ever watch in your life.
Welcome to Disney's existential crises. I don't know if there's anything you really want to get into, because I think everyone knows what the fuck Toy Story is. Should we just jump right into the movies?
Let's do it, Chris.
Let's fucking do it. This might actually be a short episode.
Wow, we're really getting ahead of schedule. We're not making already dated Collider Live references.
Wee! Who knew?
So, Chris, tell us about the first Toy Story.
Alright, so Toy Story is a 1995 animated film. In fact, I think it's the first computer animated film ever made. Like, feature film?
There was definitely computer animated stuff in movies before,
But I think this is the first straight up computer animated feature.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
Directed by John Lasseter.
Fuck him.
Yes, fuck him. Co-written by Joss Whedon.
This is the best Joss Whedon movie we've covered on this podcast.
The movie stars Tom Hanks. Tim, I really want to say the N-word, but not the N-word? Have you read this interview?
Probably.
Okay, it's the one where he's like, I want to say the N-word, but I'm not going to say the N-word. I want to say the actual word.
Fuck Tim Allen. Why does everybody who works in these movies a piece of shit except Tom Hanks?
Don Rickles, Jim Varney, Wallace Shawn, Annie Potts, John Ratzenberger, John Morris, Laurie Metcalf is the mom, Arlie Ermey, may he rest in peace, etc., etc., etc. Oh, Nathan Lane's in it.
Who does Nathan Lane play?
He plays Timon in archive footage, apparently.
Oh, right, because they play Hakuna Matata at one point.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Lasseter's in it as well as commercial chorus number 1 voice uncredited. Mm-hmm. And I'm so done with describing the cast of this movie, but I am so glad I'm on IMDb today instead of Wikipedia.
There's a shitload of people in this movie.
There is. The movie follows toys that are sentient. Mm-hmm. One of them really wants to say the N-word but can't.
It's alright. The only horrifying thing about this movie is the animation sometimes.
It doesn't look that bad. It just looks like it was clearly done in 1995.
I mean, it's a product of its time. The toys, for the most part, look fine. Mm-hmm. They're a little herky-jerky. Like, it's not as smooth animation as even in the next movie.
No, because the second one looks great.
Yeah, the second one looks pretty good by our standards.
Yeah.
But I think the human characters look fucking hideous.
Yeah.
They're just these dead-eyed psychopaths.
Well, let's be fair. Those boys at Pixar sure know how to do a really good composition, computer-generated image of Will Poulter.
Oh, yeah. So that's who Will Poulter reminded me of. Poor Will Poulter.
Stefan, what'd you think of the movie that's about the cowboy being threatened by Tim Allen?
This is technically true, but I really like this. I really like this movie. I think it holds up really well, and except in some visual aspects, which we'll talk about. But it's a surprisingly deep story that's mostly like groundbreaking, I think, in the sense that it was the first of its kind to infect the world with the plague that is CGI. You know, I think all the actors are great. I think this is probably before like they started like hiring just A-list actors to be in animated movies. And I mean, you get a lot of A-list actors here, but there are some. Well, it's not really professional voice actors, but it's not like filled to the brim with like, here's Jack Black as Slinky the dog or something like that.
It feels like they wrote these parts for these people.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they were like, let's just get Tom Hanks and Tim Allen because money.
Yeah. Tom Hanks is really good as this this supposedly wholesome cowboy is actually kind of selfish and kind of self-centered, even if he does have good intentions, which is a running theme throughout the franchise. Don Rickles voices Mr. Potato Head.
Yes, he does. Wallace Shawn's in it as Rex.
My favorite character.
Yeah.
I love Rex. Jim Varney voices Slinky Dog. My second favorite character.
Yep.
I love Slinky Dog. And Annie Potts voices Bo Peep, and she's barely in the movie.
She is the secretary from Mythbusters, for those who forgot. Who
Oh, yeah! Oh, okay, cool. I didn't realize that. And, yeah. That's all of this merry band of idiots.
I think that the Buzz Lightyear character is Tim Allen's best character, perhaps.
Not a high bar, but I think
not a high
right.
bar at all. I hope we remember. I wrote in my notes, forgetting the Galaxy Quest exists. Tim Allen's best, maybe only good performances are in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed he seems like he's sort of channeling William Shatner a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, which was it was amazing watching him actually play a character.
Mm-hmm.
And not a fucking moron.
Yeah.
And not play Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Again. No grunts, though.
Sad.
I still like the Randy Newman songs. I think you'd mentioned this earlier before we started.
Oh!
That it's really, like, if you watch them all back to back to back, you want to fucking kill yourself.
If I ever fucking hear a Randy Newman song again, I'm slitting my wrist in the fucking bathtub. Jesus Christ. That man has the most, like, if you binge these movies, that man's voice becomes the most grating fucking thing. Oh, I hate Randy Newman now. Oh, one of these movies. What is this show? This show has ruined me. This show has ruined my appreciation of these wonderful, wonderful, wholesome songs. You know the funniest part? In Toy Story 3, just to skip ahead a little bit, there's a Spanish version of You've Got a Friend in Me played in Toy Story 3 when Buzz is, no, it's during the credits. That what the word they use is hay un amigo en mí, which can literally translate to there is a friend in me.
Well, for Jessie, there's definitely going to be a friend in her.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Get it. Man, Bo is so horny on Maine in the first movie. This is all we're going to talk about for the next hour, by the way. How Bo and Woody are going to Pound Town.
Do you have anything smart to say about these movies?
Nope. Okay. Beyond disgusting doll sex.
Those that keep you up at night.
This might be weird, but when I watched the first movie, I kind of got the feeling, like, especially in the beginning, like before it gets like progressively less grounded, I kind of got like a student film feel from it, like almost as if like somebody in animation school made it, not necessarily with 3D animation, but just with like 2D animation in general, as like their 5-minute thesis film or something.
Which point was that?
Like more in the beginning when the toys are just kind of hanging out.
Oh, okay.
And maybe that montage at the beginning when Andy is playing with them. It's a very cozy feel, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
and,
it's nice.
Yeah, and then like obviously like it doesn't stay that way because like once the plot kicks in, like they have to go places
on a big mighty adventure, which has kind of become the template for a lot of Pixar movies.
It is. This set the groundwork for better or for worse for Pixar. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a delightful movie. I never asked you what you thought of it. What do you think of it? What do you think of Toy Story, Chris? Tell me. Chris, tell me your thoughts about this movie, because I got you food. Laced with arsenic.
It was good.
Woo! Hell yeah, best episode yet. You feel that heat, folks?
That's sweet hot take.
That's our steaming commentary on Toy Story. Can we get a replay on that? Chris, tell me your thoughts about this movie, because I got you food. Laced with arsenic.
It was good.
Woo!
I think I replicated it perfectly because I wanted to get the taps in there too.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. But no, seriously, say something. For fuck's sake.
I very much enjoy these films. I don't think there's a bad Toy Story movie. Spoilers for the next couple reviews. Yeah, like the animation's super dated, but that comes with the territory of breaking new ground.
Also, like, I think these movies kind of serve as like just a bench points for CGI animation in general, just because they all kind of, none of them have art look exactly the same. And that you can just see the evolution of the art form. I think that's really cool. So the movie doesn't really get going until the plot of the movie, I should say. Like, the movie's good throughout, but the plot doesn't really get going until Andy, the toy's owner, gets a new present for his birthday, which is a Buzz Lightyear doll, who's a space ranger, like a spaceman, who believes he actually is like the Buzz Lightyear cartoon character.
Yeah.
Much to Woody's dismay. and he becomes the new hotness. Like, he becomes Andy's favorite toy. He becomes the most popular toy
Of the group,
among the group, which prompts much jealousy in Woody. And it also kind of mirrors something that kind of like a pop culture phenomenon that happened in like the 50s, 60s, where kids in usually the States, where they had previously admired cowboys, moved away from traditional cowboy activities like catching outlaws and murdering indigenous people to and their interest moved with the advent of the Sputnik and Apollo space programs to astronauts and spacemen and whatnot,
aliens,
and they have more references to that in Toy Story 2, but
oh fuck
yeah, but it's kind of a neat little parallel there. Woody's a dick.
Little bit.
I'm not saying that as a criticism, really, because he does undergo a lot of growth in these movies.
Oh yeah.
But
I think Woody shows a bit of arrogance in this one, though.
Yeah, he's very self-centered.
He also seems to really just like having control.
And a bit of a control freak, yeah. And it is kind of centered in his need for attention from Andy.
Yeah.
And he does want the best for Andy and the toys. It's just he really wants to be the center of what's best. Yeah. But yeah, when Buzz appears, like, he's really dismissive of Buzz, a literally mentally ill person or toy, whatever.
Yeah, he's delusional and weird and
yeah, and he starts snapping at the other toys. Like, he treats Slinky like shit when that happens, which broke my heart. Yeah, we can talk a little bit more about Woody's development later, because he does like grow a lot in each of the movies.
Yeah, I'll take for better.
Yeah, I think the other this other central character in this movie is Buzz, who begins a running theme in these movies of existential horror.
Yeah.
As weird as that is to say about a Pixar movie, because Buzz basically has the Matrix implode on him in this movie.
Yeah, essentially.
The I will go sailing scene is weirdly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because it has a toy spaceman realizing that he's a toy spaceman. Yeah. So it's kind of absurd to say that it's kind of sad and existentially horrifying.
Mm.
But that's not even the least weird, sad, and existentially horrifying this series gets, too.
Yeah.
This is probably the best Joss Whedon movie we've reviewed so far, huh?
Yeah.
This is probably better than the first Avengers movie. I'd sooner watch this than any of the Avengers movies.
This movie touched me in the same way that Joss Whedon touched all those women that weren't his wife.
Yeah. Yeah! Joss Whedon, what a piece of shit.
Fuck that guy.
And while we're at it, fuck John Lasseter.
Yeah.
What an enormous piece of shit.
What a tool.
The Randy Newman songs get gradually decreased as the series goes on.
Yes.
Which is probably for the better. But it's very, there's 3 or 4 of them in the first movie. Part of it is that every song in these movies, every Randy Newman song is so on the nose. It's this is what the character's going through. It's shut the fuck up, Randy Newman.
Your criticisms of Randy Newman remind me of that Family Guy bit from season 1.
I feel so ashamed, but also that's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny bit, I'm not gonna lie. Family Guy had its moments. Did you catch the Wilhelm scream in this movie?
Yeah.
Because it's Buzz that does it. And the Wilhelm scream sounds nothing like Tim Allen's voice. No. So it's so out of place. I fucking laughed for 2 minutes after.
Okay, I don't think there's anything useful we're going to say about Toy Story right now, because we've been on this for 45
Hey, you remember
minutes.
that time where the Etch-a-Sketch drew a noose?
Yes, I
do. That was wild.
Yeah.
This movie's fucking weird. Guys, picture it. The Virgin Woody and the Chad Buzz.
Anyway.
I'm very online.
Anyway, Stefan, would you recommend the first Toy Story, since I don't think we have anything good to say about it? By good, I mean useful.
Yeah, of course I would recommend Toy Story. It's a classic. It's a benchmark in terms of not just animation, but CGI animation, so we can take a look back at how far we've come, and boy, have we come far. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, everybody's great in it. It's really funny. It's surprisingly clever for a kids movie of that era. Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of deep existential themes that are going to get deeper as the sequels come. But yeah, Toy Story is great. I would highly recommend it. What about you, Chris?
I would recommend Toy Story because it's a really, really funny movie still. Like you said, it's absolutely groundbreaking in terms of CGI animation. and it does pave the way for where Pixar is going to go from here.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be for better or for worse. Honestly, if there's one thing I would have brought up in the conversation, this is why I don't care for a lot of Pixar's new stuff, like their new original stuff, is because it just kind of feels like, let's take Toy Story, but put it in this different setting.
Right.
So, like, with Inside Out, I kind of feel that way about Inside Out.
Mm.
Like, I still really like Inside Out, but it still kind of feels like, yeah, it's definitely taking that template and going with it again.
No, I see that, yeah.
I'm getting really tired of the whole, let's have this thing go and do this activity, or this adventure.
What, you're not excited for that, or that contemporary fantasy thing they're doing, where it's, check it out. What if elves, or whatever the fuck, lived in cities like people would?
And go on an adventure.
And go on a quest.
And then people
and
wonder...
What if unicorns were like coyotes? What if, Chris?
I didn't watch the trailer
Your
for
mind
Onward.
blown?
Didn't watch the trailer for
The trailer showed before Toy Story 4.
Oh, okay, because I didn't...
Yeah.
Okay. Full disclosure for those of you who are wondering why I just look so confused at him, even though this isn't a visual medium, I missed the first, 5 minutes of Toy Story 4.
So, yeah, he missed out on the trailer. But, what's it called again?
Onward?
Yeah, the trailer for Onward just shows off its premise, and it's literally just what if, elves and goblins and trolls lived in a contemporary city setting, and went on a quest, and it's... Chris, but Chris, what if trolls manned the toll booths at bridges?
Fuck off.
Like a troll bridge. But now it's a toll bridge.
Another fucking water, you fucking... Give me a fucking water. Give me a fucking water. Give me a fucking water. Give me a But yes, I would recommend Toy Story. It's still really funny. It's still really charming. Even though Pixar has kind of worn out that template plot to death at this point.
Oh, yeah.
One would argue. I think that they still made a really strong movie with Toy Story, and I think the movies get even better from there with Toy Story 2!
Bow, bow. Okay.
Get ready. I'm going to talk about Toy Story 2 now.
The toys are back in town.
I'm done with this shit. Okay, so Toy Story 2 is directed by John Lasseter, Ash Brannon, and Lee Unkrich, and written by a bunch of people that aren't named Joss Whedon. Stars Tom Hanks, Tim, God would I'd kill to say the N-word in my stand-up sets, Alan, Joan Cusack, Kelsey Grammer, Don Rickles, Jim Varney, Wallace Shawn, John Ratzenberger, Annie Potts, Wayne Knight from Seinfeld, Laurie Metcalf, John Morris, Estelle Harris, Arlie Ermey is back, and more. Oh, and Dave Foley is in it as Flick the Ant.
Oh shit, that's right, because this movie is also A Bug's Life too.
Yeah.
Except the characters from A Bug's Life die immediately in the credits. It's awesome.
What a film. Okay, so I like this movie more than the first one.
So do I.
I think it's my favorite Toy Story movie.
I think so too.
It's emotionally satisfying. I think the villains are both great. When you're a kid and you've never seen Seinfeld, you just think of Al as like a complete creep. Mm-hmm. And then when you watch Seinfeld, finally you're like, oh shit, that's Newman from Seinfeld. As Newman from Seinfeld, if he owned a toy store.
Yeah. I was just thinking of him as the guy from Jurassic Park.
And Space Jam.
And Space Jam.
He is
well,
also
I haven't
in
seen Space Jam. But I don't.
You haven't seen Space Jam?
I haven't seen Space Jam.
It's terrible.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it at some point.
Fuck.
For sequel Decay.
God damn it.
You want to do Back in Action, and if we do Back in Action, we're gonna do Space Jam.
Fuck.
Sorry, that's the poison pill you have to swallow.
Oh, just give me more fucking shepherd's pie with arsenic.
No, get it yourself. I left the arsenic on the counter. Just apply as much as you want. It's a childproof cap. Don't worry. Just gotta twist and pull. Yeah, I love Toy Story 2. I think it's the first Pixar movie I ever watched, actually. I watched the Spanish dub of it. My favorite part of this, one of my favorite parts anyway, is like the opening where it's the Buzz Lightyear video game.
Yeah,
it's just Rex playing the game because Rex is the noblest of all races, a gamer.
I also really fucking love how that opening pays off in the elevator scene with Zurg.
That's You know what? That's the first time that I heard that Empire reference ever. Because I watched this before I saw Empire. Because, like, my mom laughed really fucking hard at it when we watched it. It was funny, but it wasn't that funny. It's just like, oh no, it's a Star Wars reference. Jesse's a really good character.
Jesse's my favorite character in the movie as far as, like, an actual arc goes. Because, like, we've had Woody's arc, and he obviously grows a lot more in this movie, too. And he's got a great arc in this.
Yeah.
But I think Jesse's arc and Jesse's background is the most emotionally devastating for me.
Yeah, no kidding. I think that this movie is... I mean, the first movie had a lot of themes of, like, existentialism and, like, one's purpose in life.
Yeah.
But this movie takes that up to, like, 12. 12 out of 10. Where it's, like, Jesse and Bullseye and the Prospector are terrified of having to go back into oblivion.
Yeah. Like, it's really bleak.
Yeah.
I think this one is probably the darkest out of all the Toy Story movies for me.
Probably.
Because, like, the fear in Jesse's eyes is so real in this. And, I mean, yeah, we're going to move on to Buster from Arrested Development, the suicidal spork. But, you know, we'll talk about that in 20 years when it eventually comes out.
And Woody's arc is entirely based around, okay, do I choose impermanence and staying with Andy only to probably have my be reduced to nothing at some point?
Yeah.
And just enjoy it while it lasts. Or do I go to Japan with Jesse, the Prospector, and Bullseye and be immortalized forever? Which is... I mean, I obviously didn't pick this up when I was a kid, but that's kind of a lot for a kid.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Also, well, there's not only that, but he's also wondering, like, do I save these people from going back into storage?
Yeah. They really hate it there. And then cut to Ham picking up women.
Yeah. And, like, going back to that arc, though, like, even, like, with the Prospector, who is a really good villain and a really shitty person, or I guess a really shitty toy.
Yeah.
You still completely understand his motivations, and you completely understand where he's coming from and why he's acting the way he is.
Yeah.
You just don't agree with his methods.
His actions are rooted in existential terror.
Yeah.
He said about the little cartoon mining man.
Yeah, like, this is probably the smartest Toy Story movie for me, and...
I think so, too.
Again, for better and worse, but mostly worse, had a huge impact on the other sequels.
Yeah.
This is something we'll talk about later when we talk about Toy Story 3 and 4, but mostly 3, because 3 comes first, and I have the same issues with 3.
I have more issues with 4, but we'll get to it. I think you have that on one hand, but also you have the little adventure that Buzz and Slink and Mr. Potato Head and Rex and Ham, did I say Ham? Have to rescue them. And that's mostly comic relief.
Yeah.
But it's really funny.
I love how that's the A story, but it's more treated like the B plot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's really, like, the priorities on the filmmaker's ends are really, like, 10 out of 10, because in any other movie, that would be the A plot, and Woody's arc with Jesse and the Prospector and Bullseye would be the B plot.
Yeah.
But in this case, it feels reversed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really smart.
Yeah.
This is obviously made by people who care and want to make a more emotional film, and a movie that will work for both kids and adults. The animation looks incredible compared to the first one. Like, holy shit. Speaking
of things that are going to stand the test of time, like, it helps that these, like, movies, like, take a lot of time between sequels.
Yeah.
Like, this is... Toy Story 2 came out 4 years after the first one, and there's already a big jump in animation. The character movements are much smoother. The human characters look much less abominable.
Yeah. There's little things here and there that are a little off, but they're so fucking minor it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I didn't even look. I wasn't looking for them, and I didn't notice them, so, like, it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, like, I can't even name them. That's how minor they are. There was another thing I noticed about Woody's Roundup, the show that Woody's from.
Yeah.
I love how it ends on a cliffhanger, just like Twin Peaks does.
Mm-hmm.
And there's my obligatory Twin Peaks reference of the year. Yay! So what if Woody told Buzz, you were a toy, and instead of you're a sad, strange little man, Buzz said, we are like the dreamer who dreams and lives inside the dream, but who is the dreamer? Much like Monica Bellucci did to David Lynch in Twin Peaks Season 3.
God, I fucking hate you. So, fun fact about Toy Story 2.
Oh god, is there a Twin Peaks reference in there?
No. It was originally going to be direct-to-video.
Really?
Yeah, they were developing it like apart from Pixar on a small scale because most of Pixar was working on A Bug's Life.
Oh yeah, right.
And then Disney thought it looked really good or promising, so they upgraded it to being theatrical release. But Pixar wasn't happy with it, so they redeveloped the movie in an entire weekend. And then because the release date couldn't be changed, they worked on They did the whole movie in 9 months.
Jesus Christ!
Which for
makes the animation look even better.
Yeah, for an animated movie especially, like animation takes a long fucking time.
Oh yeah.
Like back when a lot of the Newgrounds animators came to YouTube and they started doing animations there, for like 5-minute 2D animated videos could take like months at a time to make. A movie, 1 hour and a half movie in 9 months is an accomplishment, and I'm sure the animators paid dearly for it, but yeah, Karen Jackson, co-producer of Toy Story 2, is quoted as saying, "When we went from a direct-to-video to a feature film and we had limited time in which to finish that feature film, the pressure really amped up. Forget seeing your family, forget doing anything. Once we made that decision on the schedule, it was like, okay, you have a release date, you're going to make that release date, you're going to make these screenings." The overwork while hard work and long hours were common to the team by that point, especially so to Lasseter, but fuck John Lasseter. Running flat out on Toy Story 2 for month after month began to take a toll. The overwork spun out into carpal tunnel syndrome for some animators and repetitive strain injuries for others. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's...
Treat your animators well, guys.
Yeah.
Don't rush that Sonic movie.
Please don't. The quality of the movie doesn't matter. Just make sure nobody's life is fucking ruined.
No.
In one instance, an animator in Toy Story 2 had forgotten to drop his child off at daycare one morning.
Jesus, fuck!
And in a mental haze, forgot the baby in the backseat of his car in a parking lot.
No.
The baby was okay, though.
Oh, thank God.
Rescue workers got to it.
Oh, thank God.
The incident became a horrible indicator that some on the crew were working too hard, wrote David Price.
No shit!
Wrote David Price in his 2008 book, The Pixar Touch.
Appreciate Toy Story 2 more than you guys do.
Yeah. Also, help animators unionize.
Don't overwork the animators on Sonic, for fuck's sake, don't. The movie's gonna suck either way.
Yeah.
Just fucking don't. This movie won Best Motion Picture Musical Comedy at the Golden Globes.
Did it?
This was before the Best Animated Feature category was announced.
Yeah, that makes sense. It won did it win Best Animated Feature at the... No, this was before that. That was at the Oscars, huh?
What?
Because the first movie to win Best Animated Feature at the Oscars was Shrek, and Shrek didn't come out until I think 2001. 2001,
2002.
Uh-huh.
It's a really funny movie. The entire fucking rescue mission's a B-plot, and it's such a good B-plot.
When they're in the traffic cones?
Yeah!
And they're walking down the street, and they kill like 20 people.
And then they just look over at the wreckage that they've created, and they're like, yeah, we're fine. Everything's fine.
A job well done.
A job well done, fellas. And they killed like 40 people.
That's awesome. This movie has so much property damage. That's awesome.
This movie does more property damage than a Roland Emmerich picture.
They just straight up steal cars all the time, too.
Oh yeah, it's fun. The toys are just like, oh, I would love to see Toy Story 5 if it was a Grand Theft Auto parody for kids. When She Loved Me is a beautiful song.
Yes, that's...
Sad didn't win the Oscar for Best Original Song, but that was also the same year that... Oh god, that must have been a really good fucking year for Best Original Song nominees.
Watch it be something from Forrest Gump.
That came out in 1994, you fucking
It's still going to be something from Forrest Gump.
Okay. So that year, Phil Collins' You'll Be In My Heart won.
What the fuck is it, Tarzan?
Yeah.
Oh, this song kicks the shit out of that song.
Also, while we're here, I'm going to look at the other nominees.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that Tarzan's song is not the best one. Okay, so the Tarzan song wins, so You'll Be In My Heart by Phil Collins won.
Bullshit.
These are other songs that were nominated. When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2.
Uh-huh.
Blame Canada from the South Park movie.
Probably should have won.
Music of My Heart. No, actually you're wrong. Music of My Heart from Music of the Heart, which nobody remembers. Mm-hmm. And Save Me from Magnolia, which would have been my pick.
Oh shit! Wait, is that the? That's the. Is it the? Which is that the Paul Thomas Anderson movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That should have won.
Yeah.
That should have fucking won. But no, they gave it to Phil Collins. I'm sorry, When She Loved Me is a beautiful song too. We'll talk about Magnolia one day because I really want to do Magnolia.
Yeah. Okay, so all those problems I listed with Randy Newman earlier.
Yeah.
Phil Collins has that in spades in Tarzan. So some more bullshit about the production of Toy Story 2.
Oh boy.
A full third of the staff ended up with some sort of repetitive strain injury, and because Pixar, what Pixar did was they did not encourage people working long, but they said that they refused. They either approved or disapproved people working overtime. They tried to keep that in check, but they didn't move the deadline. The deadline is what was causing this, not the fact that they were working overtime.
Yeah.
If they pushed the deadline back like a year or whatever, like that instantly becomes a healthier movie to work on. Mm-hmm. So just limiting how much overtime somebody can work, like they ignored it. What they did was ignore it.
Well, and I think that's I don't know if that's necessarily also a Pixar issue, but I think that's more of a Disney issue too, because they'd have to talk to Disney.
It's all. I mean, it's an anime. I mean, yeah, it's a Disney thing, but it's also an animation industry issue.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, for sure. I think it's an animation industry issue for sure too.
Because especially with like anime, that shit's rampant. Mm-hmm.
Y'all have no idea how much we hate the animation industry just for how they treat their animators.
Yeah, because I have such appreciation for animation as an art form.
Yeah.
That it really pisses me off to see how they're treated.
It makes it really hard to watch Sausage Party again after finding out what happened.
Yeah.
Workplace abuse aside,
Toy Story 2 is a great movie.
Yeah. So you'd recommend it?
I would highly recommend Toy Story 2.
Great, I think recommend it.
Yeah, if you have any appreciation for animation, I think the first two Toy Story movies I think are kind of essential to watch.
I think so, like 100%. I think the first two were very essential.
Yeah,
and
especially
two.
That's not necessarily a slight against the next two movies. It's just Toy Story and Toy Story 2 are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Toy Story 3.
Let's do it. Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3, Chris.
Great. Toy Story 3 is directed by solely Lee Unkrich and not written by Joss Whedon. And the film stars Tom Hanks, Joan Cusack, Ned Beatty, Don Rickles, Michael Keaton's in it, while Sean's back, John Ratzenberger's back.
Michael Keaton is so good.
Estelle Harris, John Morris, Jodie Benson, Emily Hahn, Laurie Metcalf, the list goes on. Did you know that Laurie Metcalf played Andy's mom until now?
Not until, like, literally an hour ago.
Oh, good. Because I didn't know until I actually went on IMDb for a change. Mm-hmm. So, Toy Story 3. Stefan, I'm not a big fan of Toy Story 3 compared to the first two. Like, I still like it, but I have issues with Toy Story 3.
I think this movie is bullshit because it erases the existence of RC.
Okay, but you actually think of the movie, Stefan?
I like Toy Story 3. I like it a lot. I don't like it as much as the first two movies.
No.
But I don't really have any real problems with it.
I think once they step foot in the daycare for the first time, when they end up in the caterpillar room, that is one of the best scenes in the entire movie. Not only is it incredibly funny because of how bleak it is, but it's also so fucking bleak.
Yeah.
Like, watching these toys get tortured.
Yeah. And the first indication you get that something is wrong is these cute little, like, animal toys, like, hiding under a pail. Yep. This movie out of the four, like, has the least importance to Woody's arc.
Yeah.
Except maybe at the very end, but like, because his choice isn't as significant in this movie as it is in Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
Like, nowhere near. His choice is, like, either way he's set. Like,
either way he's fine.
Yeah, like, it's like, the dilemma of, well, are the toys going to be trash because Andy's old? It's like, no, they're going to the attic. That's answered in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The worst thing about these movies is that John Lasseter's involved with them.
Yeah. I still think this movie's really funny, though. Spanish Buzz is the only Buzz.
He's hilarious.
Like, if that's one thing that made the factory setting Buzz thing...
I have a question that I don't know the answer to. I wonder if the actor who voiced Spanish Buzz, which is Javier Fernandez Peña, I wonder if he's the dub actor for Buzz, because that
I don't know.
That would be really cool if he was. And also, I wonder. Well, not I wonder, but I think it's good that if it is the dub actor, it would have to be the European Spanish actor, because that specifically is a European Spanish Buzz, and it's so fucking funny that they made him that way, because it would have worked if it was like somebody with a Mexican accent.
John Lasseter's not as involved creatively in this as I thought he'd be.
Okay.
Because the guy who wrote the screenplay for this, it's one guy, Michael Arndt. Mm-hmm. He wrote the script for Little Miss Sunshine. Mm-hmm. He also had his hands on the script for The Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah?
Catching Fire.
Yeah.
Not the first one.
So the best one.
Yeah. He also did some additional story material for Inside Out, and also has a writing credit on Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Oh, okay. So he's a talented individual.
Yeah. And he's not John Lasseter.
That's the most important.
Who knew?
Is this Michael Arndt you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he seems like a talented fellow.
The moments involving Andy are the most heartbreaking and beautiful in the entire franchise.
Yeah. The last scene is one of my favorite scenes.
The last scene is incredible. I'd even say the beginning montage is incredible.
The beginning montage is great too.
If people hold this movie so dearly in their hearts, I completely understand why.
Yeah.
Because like this movie has moments that are absolutely beautiful. I think as a whole, it's my least favorite Toy Story movie, though. Mm-hmm. But that'll be a debate for later. We'll see how I feel about Toy Story 4 if I watch it again. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else to say about Toy Story 3?
This movie also introduces characters voiced by Kristen Schaal, who voices a Triceratops toy known as Trixie, and Timothy Dalton, who voices a thespian hedgehog called Mr. Pricklepants.
Yep.
And also Jeff Garlin, from Curb Your Enthusiasm, who voices Buttercup, the unicorn, who doesn't have a lot of personality yet. Man,
I'm loving all these Larry David alumni who are showing up in this fucking franchise.
Yeah.
There's Wayne Knight and now...
Trixie is another one of that noble, endangered race of beings known as gamers. She games with Rex.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Is it time to talk about Michael Keaton as the Ken doll?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Barbie and Ken are really fun in this movie.
They are very good in this movie.
I wonder if Disney / Pixar had to jump through any hoops to get Barbie and Ken in these movies, because Mattel is pretty protective of that property.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who cares?
I don't care.
I'm sure Disney did that beautiful thing where they backed a dump truck full of money into Mattel's garage.
Just as Walt intended.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very surprised that Michael Keaton voices the Ken doll. I've known that for years, and it still surprises me.
He's great in the movie, though.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun. It's kind of cheap sometimes where they make the joke like, oh yeah, Ken's like a woman. It's funny because he's doing what a girl does.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's pretty cheap. I think.
It's really cheap and kind of just dumb. But, I mean, Michael Keaton just owns it, and he's great in it.
Yeah. Michael Keaton should be more... Why didn't Michael Keaton reprise his role as the Ken doll in Toy Story 4? Mm-hmm. Toy Story 4, awful movie. This movie made just over $1 billion.
Oh yeah, it was nominated for the Oscar for Best Picture.
Very true. At the time of its release, it was the fourth highest grossing movie of all time. It's definitely dropped down that list by this point.
Yeah. Maybe it's the sixth.
And it's a good thing it made that much because it cost $200 million to make. And most of that, I think, went into the animation. Because, again, there's a massive jump. Toy Story 2 looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 looks, way better. And it helps that, this movie came out, 12 years after Toy Story 2?
11?
11? 11 years after Toy Story 2. So, technology had advanced to that point, and the art of CGI continued to move forward.
Yeah. I also really like that it took advantage of the 11-year gap in the movie and used that to develop Andy's character a bit.
I thought you were going to say not murder the animators, but okay.
That too.
yeah. Because you don't really know anything about Andy in the first two movies.
Yeah, but now it's we're getting to know he feels about the toys, because obviously he still has a connection to them, even if it is very small at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Andy's a sweet kid.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. Chris, any closing thoughts on Toy Story 3? Do you recommend it?
It was good.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
I really like my steaming hot takes on the Toy Story franchise. I really like this movie.
Yeah.
I do really like this movie still. Like, most of it's great. The little small moments that everyone loves so much about this movie are fucking fantastic. It's just that it just really diminishes character arcs.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I do recommend the movie if you haven't seen it yet. Stefan, do you recommend Toy Story 4? Toy Story 3. Toy Story.
We'll get to that in a minute. Toy Story 3 is a charming movie with characters that you love, with brilliant animation that's a bit derivative. Woody's character doesn't advance as much as one would like. But yeah, it's overall a good movie, and I do not recommend it because they erased RC, and that's bullshit.
Great, we're going to talk
Just
about
kidding,
Toy Story 4
I
now.
recommend Toy Story 3.
Great, we're going to talk about Toy Story 4 now.
Okay.
Let's get this over with.
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4?
To infinity and this movie. Anyway, Chris, tell me, a dumb garbage person, about Toy Story 4.
Great! So, Toy Story 4 was directed by Josh Cooley in his directorial debut. This movie has 8 fucking screenwriters attached to it.
Holy shit.
Names including John Lasseter, Andrew Stanton, Josh Cooley himself, Valerie Lapointe, Rashida Jones, Will McCormick, Martin Hines, and Stephanie Folsom. With Andrew Stanton and Stephanie Folsom actually writing the script.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of people that were involved at this at one point. So, cool. The movie stars Tom Hanks, Annie Potts, Tony Hale from Arrested Development, Keegan-Michael Key, Jordan Peele, Madeline McGraw, Christina Hendricks, Keanu Reeves, Joan Cusack, Bonnie Hunt, Kristen Schaal, Wallace Shawn, John Ratzenberger, Carl Weathers, Don Rickles, Jeff Garlin, Mel Brooks.
Mel fucking Brooks.
Carol Burnett, Betty White, Carl Reiner, Bill Hader, Patricia Arquette, Timothy Dalton, Flea, and, of course, everyone's favorite, Tim Allen.
Who the fuck did Flea play?
Flea played...
Oh, the Kaboom TV announcer. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I'm assuming that Betty White and Carol Burnett played the dogs? There's Betty White and Cheryl Burnett?
Yeah, I guess.
Or did they just play other toys?
I don't remember who Bitey White and Cheryl Burnett are.
Cool. I don't even know.
Oh, wait. I remember one of the chairs was in that, club thing.
Oh, right. So Cheryl... Okay, so they were toys in the club.
Yeah.
Do you small children remember Carl Reiner, Betty White, and Carol Burnett, and Mel Brooks? I sure fucking don't. Do you remember the Golden Girls and the Carol Burnett show? I sure fucking don't.
Do you remember the comedy opus History of the World Part 1?
That was a great fucking movie.
I love that movie. Nobody ever talks about it.
That movie is amazing, and I'd love to do a one-off on it.
Oh, I would love to do a Mel Brooks episode.
That would be
honestly.
Great. We could talk about how they'll never make Blazing Saddles today.
You know what I just read today?
What?
They're making an animated movie not based on Blazing Saddles, but inspired by Blazing Saddles, called Blazing Samurai. Mel Brooks is going to be in it. It stars Michael Cera, Samuel L. Jackson, Ricky Gervais, somebody named Heavenly Joy Jerkins, Jimon... Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, Heavenly. Jimon Hunsu.
Fuck, he's good, though.
He's really good. He doesn't get the respect he needs.
No,
that he plays the cat in this poster.
For the love of God!
Speaking of doesn't get the respect he needs.
I'm done talking about this now. Let's talk about
if you want. No, we're not done. If you want to know what we're talking about, look up the Wikipedia page for Blazing Samurai, and look at the poster for it.
We're gonna talk about Toy Story 4 now.
It's a cat in a thong.
We're gonna talk about Toy Story 4 now.
The cat is played by Jimon Hunsu. Poor Jimon Hunsu.
So what did you think of Toy Story 4?
Hold on, let me scroll away from the Wikipedia page for Jimon Hunsu. I like Toy Story 4. I think it's definitely my least favorite of the 4 movies. I was really upset when they announced it, actually.
So was I, because they announced it, 5 years ago?
They announced it 5 years ago. It was, and I just thought that this is right when Pixar was at a low point too.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, fuck off with this.
Actually, you know what? While we're here, since this is obviously the decade of Pixar sequels coming full circle, since the next 4 films apparently are going to be original,
that's good.
We are going to quickly talk about this cycle of bullshit.
Okay.
That is the Pixar sequels.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Great. Okay. I almost walked out of Cars 2 in a free screening.
I've never seen Cars 2.
Oh my god. I watched the whole thing and I remember nothing. That's how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it. What else came out? Never saw Brave, but that's not a sequel anyway.
Brave
so
is
gives a shit.
Pretty messy. It's parts of it are good, but it's pretty mediocre.
Okay, so released. Let's go to the decade. Okay.
If you ever had a chance to change your destiny, would you?
So I talked about Toy Story 3 already. I almost walked out of a free screening of Cars 2. I watched Monsters University once and I hated it.
I hate that movie.
Finding Dory is redundant garbage that diminishes character arcs.
I
haven't seen Cars 3, nor do I care. The Incredibles 2 is pretty good, I guess.
It was okay.
But it's not something I'm racing home about. Mm-hmm. And there, we never have to touch any of these movies for sequel decay.
I want to do an Incredibles episode.
Maybe we'll do an Incredibles episode. But we are not touching Cars, we are not touching Monsters, Inc., we are not touching Finding Nemo.
But I love Monsters, Inc. I really hate Monsters University, though.
I don't even want to touch them. I don't care. Because I have nothing but bad things to say about Finding Dory.
I still see you leaving the door open for Cars. No, just kidding. We're not doing Cars.
For some reason, I thought you were singing that to the tune of "I'm Still Standing" by Elton John.
Why would I be doing that? I don't know what that song is. It was announced at a time when I do not.
This was right after Monsters University came out and right before Inside Out.
Yeah, everybody was kind of sick. Yeah, right before Inside Out.
So basically, this was. Monsters University just came out, and what we probably knew about Inside Out was, it's Toy Story, but with your emotions.
Yeah.
And so people were going, oh, fuck off!
Yeah.
And so when they said, we're gonna make Toy Story 4, we were just like, fuck off. Even the week leading up to this, we were still just like, fuck off.
Yeah, because Toy Story 3, say what you will about the movie, but it ends on the perfect note.
It ends on the perfect note.
And this felt like... It felt like such a naked money grab, which
it still kind of does.
I mean, and I'm not going to say that Pixar are definitely Disney or these altruistic corporations who only make art for the sake of making art, because fuck, that would be wrong. But Pixar has never really given the impression of that to me, at least before this point. It always felt like because there was a time when they almost never made sequels, except for Toy Story.
Basically, yeah.
And it always felt... But when they started making sequels, it felt like they had stopped making movies for the sake of telling original, interesting stories and just started transitioning towards stuff that can be easily marketable.
Yeah.
To, little kids. And when they announced Toy Story 4, I think that's when the straw broke the straw broke the camel's back for me.
Yeah.
And then Inside Out came out, and that was good. So, and then, Pixar is not as bad as it was in that little period of time.
No, but I still don't like Finding Dory at all.
Nobody's making you like Finding Dory, Chris.
I just think you're a fucking idiot for being like, man, Monsters University sucks, but hey, I like Finding Dory.
Yeah, and you're not going to make me not like it, so eat shit.
I will. Don't worry.
I'm never going to watch Twin Peaks.
Watch Twin Peaks.
Nope.
I'll let you like Finding Dory.
Ooh, tempting. Now, what matters to me more? Just this spiteful, not watching of Twin Peaks that I have going on for literally no reason, even though I know I would greatly benefit for it? or barely enjoying Finding Dory. Which do I appreciate more? But yeah, even when this movie was coming out, like after the trailers, I felt nothing about this movie. I think I read a report like a few weeks ago that I think I told you about, where it's like, by the way, I heard Toy Story 4 is like soulless. I remember telling you that. And looking back now, I don't think that's a correct evaluation. I don't think it's a soulless movie.
Yeah.
And I would say that overall it's a good movie. Whether or not it justifies its own existence is another thing entirely for me.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that it does that.
No. No, I'm not convinced that it justifies its own existence completely either. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, same. I think that too.
I think that this and The Incredibles 2 are the best sequels since Toy Story 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because it seems like they actually put work into both of these, and they didn't just... They don't feel
Especially the animation.
They don't feel like neither of them felt like soulless cash grabs.
Mm-hmm.
And are they going to be as memorable as their predecessors? No. No. Do they completely justify their own existence? No. Mm-hmm. Especially after, again, about a solid 6 years of just frustration after frustration after frustration.
And hey, Inside Out! And then frustration.
After frustration. And
Coco!
And then frustration. Yeah, because I was talking about this with a friend, but my friend had asked me, how many original films did Pixar make in the last 10 years?
That was me.
That was you?
Yes. We had that conversation last.
I thought that was...
No, I'm pretty sure that was me.
Okay, so whatever. Either way, I had a conversation with somebody. You know, someone asked me how many original Pixar films were made in the last 10 years. And so I went on Wikipedia and I counted, okay, so they made 11 films in the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. 4 of them were original.
That's not a good ratio, I don't think. That's less than 40%.
No! That is absolutely less than 40%.
It's like 36, 37%.
About that, yeah.
Math!
Whee! Anyway, but no, I don't think this movie completely justifies its own existence, and it feels more... Someone on Twitter or somewhere, someone said this somewhere in my feeds, I don't know who, and I agree with them. This movie feels more like an epilogue.
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate assessment.
And I think that's probably what a lot of people were thinking too. This feels more like it feels more like a reunion with the guys.
Uh-huh.
For the most part, that's completely fine. This movie has also other redundancies redundant plot lines that were also used in Toy Story 2. Such as breaking into a store. Again. Let's do it again. Let's rescue someone from the store. Again.
Yeah.
That was the big one.
Yeah.
Buzz coming back to rescue Woody.
Yeah, I think it's probably more redundant to me than Toy Story 3.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
There was definitely things where I was like, oh, come on. We're doing this again?
When the first time... And they do the "You've Got a Friend in Me" montage again at the beginning of the movie.
Did they do the same montage they did at the beginning of Toy Story 3? The same version of the song?
It's not. I think it's the same version of the song, but it's not the same visuals. But it is Andy playing with the toys.
Does it end with Randy Newman singing "Our Friendship Will Never Die" with nothing else playing in the background?
I don't think so.
Okay, because that's how the montage ended in Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I don't think they do that exact same thing. But at that point, I turned to my brother in the theater. Was like, "Oh, fuck off with this!"
Yeah.
Come on.
This definitely does feel like a nostalgia grab, and it definitely feels like here's your reunion with characters you've loved for 25 years.
Yeah. And
there are aspects of this movie I really like.
Yep.
I really love the ending.
The ending's really good.
The ending's really good. I don't think it's as good as Toy Story 3.
No.
Mm-hmm. But I definitely still went, oh, that's finally. Maybe we won't get Toy Story 5. Yay!
God, I hope not.
That was basically what was going through my head as I was watching that ending was, yay, we're not going to get a Toy Story 5, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. It was literally like, yep, this is completely acceptable. It was really fun. I had a good time. It feels like Toy Story 3 again, where I'm like, yeah, I had a really good time. It's just I have these same issues again. I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Speaking character-wise, on a side note, Buzz is really dumb in this movie.
Incredibly.
He was not that stupid in the other movies.
No, it's interesting how he's this stupid again. It's also amazing how they don't utilize any of the other supporting players.
Yes, I was going to say. At
all.
Like, the supporting characters barely have anything to do.
No, they're basically just sitting there like, Bo Peep has something to do, and I'm glad they actually kind of made her the leader.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad that, they gave some of the newer characters something to do.
Yeah, I thought the unicorn was really funny.
The unicorn was great.
His plan to keep things moving along was to try to maim or kill Bonnie's dad.
Yeah, I love how this is the Key and Peele reunion I never thought I wanted.
Hell yeah.
Folks, we're probably going to do a Key and Peele episode eventually.
That would be fun.
Because I have a
Get Out, Us, and Toy Story 4.
I was going to say, no. Keegan-Michael Key is in neither of those.
You know what? I'm an idiot. Forget I said that.
No, I was going to say, the show, Keanu, and Toy Story 4.
Hell yeah. Perfect.
Without Toy Story 4, though. So, what'd you think of Toy Story? See our Toy Story episode. The side characters don't have a lot to do this time around, which is depressing.
They just sit in an RV the whole time.
They sit in an RV the whole time.
Which is just me on a vacation.
Yeah. like I said, this feels like a reunion weekend with the guys. This doesn't feel like a necessary installment into a franchise that's already over.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of the frustrations are going to come in. And I feel very repetitive in saying that, but this movie doesn't offer a whole lot.
Yeah, because,
like I said, there's funny moments. I laugh my ass off at certain aspects. The new characters are okay, I guess. Like, Duke Kaboom is great.
Keanu Reeves is
is a national treasure. Duke Kaboom is a national treasure. Did you notice that every time Duke Kaboom would gain some kind of confidence, O Canada would play in the background? Yeah. I could not stop laughing every time they did that.
Folks, I'm not a patriotic person. I could not possibly give less a shit about Canadian pride. But Keanu Reeves makes me proud to be a Canadian.
Yes, he does. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about Toy Story 4, and it's because it doesn't give you a lot to chew on like Toy Story 2 does. Like, again, it's nice.
You know what? The best thing about this movie is
the animation.
The animation is gorgeous. It's fucking phenomenal. Again, 9-year gap between movies. They had a lot of time for the technology to evolve.
Oh, yeah.
And they definitely took advantage of the fact that they announced it so far ahead of schedule.
Oh, yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, boy, a real improvement on Toy Story 2, huh?
In terms of workers' conditions. Yeah, I would imagine, unless something comes out, but yeah, I would imagine they had a lot more, their mental health was significantly better.
Oh, yeah.
I like Bo Peep in this movie. I don't think it was a burning question that needed to be answered, but what happened to Bo Peep? Because she's basically worthless in the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad they gave her something to do for once.
I like that she's back. I kind of like the villain.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. It tied into the themes of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. I think the best part of this movie is its general opening premise, though, which is okay. So here's some rough premises of this Toy Story movies. Toy Story 1. What if toys could talk, though? Toy Story 2. Toy struggles with the concept of impermanence. Toy Story 3. Toys grapple with their death. Toy Story 4. Kid creates the thing that should not be and is convinced it's a toy. I don't know how we got to that point, but it's great. Tony Hale is Forky.
Tony Hale, who you will also know from Veep, and he also plays Buster in Arrested Development, plays Forky in this. The suicidal spork.
He literally wants to be among the trash because the trash is warm and comforting. He doesn't want to be a toy.
He wants to die. Again, because trash, I remember in Toy Story 3 when, they're about to die in the incinerator with all the trash. It was I'm pretty sure that's all Tony Hale's thinking. Forky. I'm pretty sure that's all Forky's thinking about.
But this is what we're at the point. This is the point we're at with Toy Story, where the plot of the movie literally centers in part around a suicidal spork.
Yes. When they actually set up Forky in the trailers, and I felt nothing to those trailers, but when they did set up Forky in the trailers, I literally just went, "Are you fucking kidding me? Is Disney actually going to have the audacity to try to sell spork toys to children? You would have to be an idiot." Look at this. Here, I'm going to go on the Walmart website right now.
Oh, boy.
and I'm gonna look up Forky. Oh yeah, they are. They have a Funko Pop of Forky. They have T-shirts.
How the fuck do you make a Funko Pop? I guess they do make
Little
a Funko
people,
Pop.
Forky's, Imaginext Forky, Forky on a pillow, Forky and Duke Kaboom action figures. Yeah, they are definitely selling Forky shit. Pull and go Forky with wacky action. Allow me to do my David Lynch thing. Now, when you're selling sporks as toys to small children, you are the epitome of what capitalism has truly become. It's such a sadness to think that Disney is selling sporks to fucking children. Get real.
I don't think that Twin Peaks is going to top that David Lynch quote for me, honestly.
You should watch it, though.
Probably.
You have any other notes? Because, yeah, like I said, I'm in the it's fine category. I had a good time.
Please don't make more.
Please don't make more.
Please do not. Like, they've already ended Woody's story twice.
Before we move on, Stefan, would you recommend Toy Story 4?
If you really want to see the movie, and if you want to see how the story quote unquote ends, or if you have kids you want to take to it, then yeah. And I am glad I saw it, but I'm not going to say it's as urgent to watch as the others. I would say I'm more middle of the road on it.
Okay.
I think I'm going to lock it in at okay, so my benchmark for middle of the road is Age of Ultron right now anyway. And I think I like this more than Age of Ultron, so I am going to say a slight thumbs up.
Okay.
But it is a slight thumbs up. And I just want to emphasize that.
This is a thumbs up for me. I still enjoyed myself. I still had a really good time in the moment. And I think that's what's really good about these Toy Story movies is like, even if after a while I go, it really is just kind of the same, isn't it? I had a good time.
Yeah.
So I feel like a moron for saying things like, yeah, I had a good time, and I just kind of shut my brain off when I watch these movies. I would absolutely recommend it if you have kids. Mm-hmm. If you really want to see this movie that badly, you're going to enjoy yourself.
Oh, yeah. I was in a theater with a bunch of kids, and they were having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Like, if you have kids, or if you want to watch this on your own, go ahead. You'll probably have a good time. It's got a lot of great moments in there. It's just that... yeah, this movie just doesn't justify its existence. That's it.
Mm-hmm. When they were looking for Forky and Bo, and like Woody was calling out Forky, the little girl who was sitting beside me yelled out, Forky! It was adorable. But yeah, that's Toy Story 4.
Where do you see the future of this franchise going?
Hopefully nowhere, because it should be over by now.
Yeah.
It should have been over 9 years ago.
Fuck happened?
Yeah, my hope is that they don't make more. I do not trust Disney to not make more, though.
I hope they don't make more either. Yeah. I just don't want them to make more.
Yeah.
If they do make more, at this point, it's going to be a cash grab.
Yeah, I mean, it already is.
And as much as I'd love to say vote with your wallets, guys, it's clearly not working because Aladdin made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
The Lion King's going to make a shitload of money.
There is no ethical consumption under capitalism, so don't bother. If you like the movies, just watch the movies. Yeah. Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Just don't make us enjoy them.
Yeah.
Please. But, yeah, I don't want to see another Toy Story movie. I hope that this means that it's over. I hope that this means that they're done. I don't want to see any more. I don't care if it's 10 or 20 years down the road. I'm done.
I will watch a franchise centered around Rex, but that's about it.
I just want Pixar to do original shit again.
Yeah, that would be good. Really? Mind you, they are making that Troll movie. Hey, but what if unicorns were coyotes?
Do you just want to show me the trailer?
Yeah, just watch the trailer.
Okay. Chris Ranter reacts to the trailer to Onward. We'll be back in just a sec, guys.
So, Chris, what did you think of the trailer for Onward? But what if I told you that the unicorns
Shut the fuck up!
It looks so bad!
I took it back. I just want Pixar to just close up shop. Done. I'm fucking done. What if Toy Story, but with trolls? Cometh soon. Fuck off.
That's not proper grammar.
Sure. We're making 2 movies next year. Hopefully the other one's good.
Folks, this is the podcast that has broken Chris Ranta. It's not even actually to do with the movies we're covering. It was just because he watched the trailer for Onward.
Alright, we're going to end the show now.
Well, that was an episode.
Okay, so check us out on Patreon. I don't think we've gotten any money yet.
Nope, but we will some point.
Boy, am I shocked. Follow us on Twitter at Decay Sequel. We're on Facebook at Sequel Decay. You can follow Stefan, Brandon, and I on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon will be back soon, actually. Yep. We're actually really looking forward to that. In 2 weeks' time?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to have Brandon back in a couple weeks, thank God. And next week, we're probably going to have a special guest.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we're actually really looking forward to that.
We're looking to be recording a special episode at some point, hopefully in the near future.
I don't know when.
But hopefully soon.
It was the one that we teased last episode.
Yeah, but then university graduation got in the way for our special guest.
Those fuckers. We might be doing 2 episodes with 2 different special guests.
Yeah. We don't know when one of them will be coming out.
I'm done with this fucking show. Goodbye.
Hey, wait.